Hey crew, it's Pitt, and welcome to I Know My Type. We're going to be doing Johnny Depp today. We will be doing a typology video on Johnny Depp. This is from an interview at the Zurich Film Festival in 2019. I like to get the older stuff so it's not the controversial stuff going on right now. He's going to be relaxed in this setting, and we're going to see what he's got to say. I just clicked at a random point. We're about 5.5 minutes in. Let's go.
It's just amazing what you've done. But what does a script or movie or producer or scriptwriter need to bring to you to get your interest?
You like to, I mean, it's, you want to be surprised by something. You want to be surprised.
Give me a new experience.
You look for something that's not necessarily based on.
He is almost pathologically unable to narrow down a possibility here. That is leading me right now towards Ian. Yeah, he is definitely looking at NE. Like, he is not trying to narrow down this possibility at all. He's trying really hard. He's just not able to.
Something that's altogether formulaic. You look for a character that someone has painstakingly written and offered you to play. So that's really what I get from it is the actual work, the actual, diving into the character, locating the character, building a character, and trying, if at all possible, to do something, at least try to do something that
something no one has ever done, right?
maybe hasn't been done to death.
Any.
It's maybe just a bit different.
It might be any child because this is almost pathological. Like the ability to not be able to narrow down what you look for when you get a script is really something.
There is.
Like, he's either so open to the possibilities, which would be the hero slide, or he's so defensive over the possibilities, which would be the child slide.
There is a bit of, peril in that. I mean, but I think that that's also something that's incredibly important for an actor. I think that to walk in and do the sort of same thing every time, every film, every character is sort of this version of yourself, and they are versions of me, all these characters, but to go in and I think one must tempt the possibility of falling flat on your face.
So taking risks is important.
Yeah, I think if you don't explore fully, commit yourself fully to the character.
It's very idea
to
space.
Vision and to your vision, and the author's vision.
Because vision's not physical.
I feel that I owe it to the people, to try something different because
I owe it to the people is more of a tribe focus.
I'd hate to bore you,
He's not one to give them a bad experience, so that is tribe focus as well.
So if I don't try something that could be potentially disastrous, I don't feel like I'm doing enough of the work, I prefer when studios are scared.
Okay, I have an example for studios being scared. Let's pick.
That's given me a very movement feel, right? We would expect that from Captain Jack Sparrow, but that was playing a character, and but that is very, very much movement. Look.
Okay.
I prefer when studios are scared.
Like, a T is not going to say that. He's not going to. A T would not be. I prefer people to be scared. They're going to be like, no, we're going to tightly control this so nobody ever gets scared.
Okay, I have an example for studios being scared.
And a T would also have a list of what they look for.
Let's pick one particular pirate, and Captain Jack Sparrow. I mean, you could have played him like a typical hero pirate, but you made him into this crazy, surprising.
Was he crazy? I don't know.
Give me some tried feedback on that. Was he crazy?
A great character. And there have been legends about, you know, what Disney thought about it when you first stepped on set. Maybe you can, maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you went in creating Captain Jack Sparrow, and how it went sort of from that.
Okay, so we're gonna look again. This is ideas or things. Oh, he seems to be very tribe. He seems to be movement. He seems to be informative. So we're gonna look at that too. But we're still trying to make a differentiation. Like, that was one question. It was very much ideas focused, and it was very much he had no idea. So I don't know.
Initial thing. I mean, Captain Jack was written in the original screenplay. It was just written as a kind of swashbuckler, you know, just you kind of, you know, pirate who swings in, sword fight.
The Dread Pirate Roberts.
A little bit, and then, you know, swings out, grabs a girl, and that's it. And then I had different ideas for him.
I was more flexible than that.
Captain Jack was, this is going to sound weird, he was actually born in a sauna. It's true.
Captain Jack was born in a sauna.
Yeah, he was, yeah. I was,
Whose sauna?
my sauna.
Okay, your sauna. Okay.
It's
Mine.
now his. I thought about this guy who I was just looking at various aspects of the character, and I figured this is a guy who's been in, you know, on the sea, you know, on the high seas for probably all his life, the majority.
This character development right here is actually quite tribe focused too. Like, he's not saying how can I portray this character. He's saying how does this character want to be portrayed. That is movement and tribe.
His life at least, and therefore had probably dealt with a lot of inescapable heat to the brain.
Makes sense.
So I cranked the sauna up to about 1,000 degrees, and I sat in there. I sat in there for as long as I could, until it started to affect me mentally. Which is to say, it was very, very hot, as was my brain. And then what happened is, while I was in there, in that kind of heat, you cannot stand still. But the worst of it is, if you move, it kills you. You know. So
again, this is ideas. Like
that in itself sort of gave me.
Like, very hot is not dealing in a specific heat or temperature, right? It's not a whole bunch of experiences, so it's not an SE type thing. It's not. This was the best idea by any means. So it's not really leaning me towards an I. I'm looking at gather ideas here. Like, there are so many ideas to him and so many possibilities that he just doesn't know how to narrow it down easily.
This kind of, yeah, I mean, his brain has been parboiled to some degree, and then also in terms of his body language, I felt that he would, on a ship, he would be fine. I mean, the thing could be bounding away, you know, but he would be fine. He's got his sea legs, but when he gets on land, he cannot get land legs. So therefore, he's a bit like that. And Disney disagreed.
For how long did they disagree? I mean,
well, until the film was done. Until they were pregnant with me. Yeah, they had made some comments about, we did a film test, hair, makeup, wardrobe, all that, and you present the character, and when some of the executives came down to watch the tests and see what the actors looked like, there was this sort of large eyeball effect. That was what's he doing? And then I got phone calls like, you've got to lose the things on the dangly things. You got to I mean, what's that sore on your face?
All right, so yeah. All right, we're getting a little bit on the longer side here, so we're going to start looking for some confirmations. I have not yet heard him talk at all specifically about things. Like, it has all been ideas all the way through. So we're going to go ahead with ideas. I'm pretty sure that he is a gather ideas. He does it for the tribe. He's flexible about how he does it, and he's quite informative. Like, he's not really chasing rabbit holes, but the way that he's delivering this is not in a direct manner. Like, he's making these subtle jokes, and he's doing these little asides, and that's part of his personality. So he's quite informative on that. So if he's ideas, that makes him an N. If he is gather ideas, that makes him a P. So he's an NP. If he does it for the tribe, he's an ES, or he's an EP, ENP. And if he's movement, he's an ENFP. And because he's informative, that's going to make him a just straight up ENFP. He is going to be NEFITESI. Confirmations. He will be very defensive over what other people think, right? Either in support of what other people think or absolutely against what other people think without a care for it. Not that he overlooks it, but that he's very defensive about it. This character of Jack, like, Disney didn't like it, right? He didn't care. He was very defensive against other people's thoughts. We're going to look for some more confirmation of that. It does mean that he will overlook the SI, which is organization, keeping track of things, stats, temperatures, how long he was in the sauna. These things are SI inferiors. You're just not noticing these things. It's not that you don't see them. It's not even that you can't do it. It's just that you tend to overlook it and you don't find it to be that important. You're much more concerned about the possibilities. He is almost pathologically NE. That's NE dominant. Like, he does it without thinking, without any thought whatsoever. He is gathering new possibilities. And then he is sorting them through how I feel about them. That is the character creation of Jack Sparrow right there. He just told us I am an ENFP right there.
And then they kept. Then I got phone calls like, "Please, what is he? What's going on? Is he just like, mentally just gone? Has he just left the building a long time ago? Is he just incredibly drunk, or is he gay?" And so my answer was, "I'm sorry, didn't you know that all my characters are gay?" That was the last question they asked. And
again, that's a pushback, right? He's pushing back against them. Don't you know that all my characters are gay? That is pushing back against what everyone thinks with what he feels. He feels that this character needs to be this way.
They were uncomfortable, and I put it to them that they were welcome to fire me and replace me if they wanted to. And
I don't care what you think.
Wasn't going to change what I built because I believed in it, and I believed in the character wholeheartedly. I felt that I felt very comfortable with him, and I felt I was onto something. And also the fact that every time they complained or gave me that, you could see them even peripherally while you're doing scenes, like the writers going, "That's not in the script." That's not in the script.
He has flexed around this idea. He's seeking out the possibilities. That's not in the script. It's a confirmation for NE, right? He's seeing the possibility and just going with it. He's not trying to narrow it down. He's just taking the possibility as it arises. That is gathering ideas.
And you can see all these worried faces.
Very good example of gathering ideas.
It actually, I found fuel in it. You know, it gave me fuel to go.
His problem is he gathers the ideas, but then he doesn't keep track of them, right? That's where the problem is. That's where his whole thing is he's not keeping track of the ideas. The whole situation that is currently going on is for not keeping track of what's actually going on, right? You got this idea and how you feel about it. You don't care what anybody else thinks about it, and you're not paying attention to what is really going on. That is his stack. It's crazy how you can just see stuff like that. Like,
go further. So I did, and then I think the next thing I heard, I was hearing about Michael Eisner, who was running Disney at the time, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Depp is ruining the film. We're going to have to subtitle him. Nobody can understand what he's saying. What is he doing?"
There was a little bit of that.
Oh my God. I understand their worries because the film that they had released prior to that was the Country Bear Jamboree, which I was not a part of. So,
I mean,
that joke didn't go off like he wanted, so he added a little extra.
was, I think, almost 15, 16 years ago, and since then you've made a couple more Pirates movies, and I mean, even all the rides at the Disney World parks, I mean, they're focusing on Captain Jack Sparrow.
it's weird that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean,
Strange.
probably the greatest thing is,
There's some TE pushback again, huh?
and I think that is something that you do so well, and that is something that is in your DNA.
So yeah, I was right. Y'all were wrong.
Is that you visit kids dressed up as Captain Jack Sparrow and sort of talk to them at hospitals and everything. So having created that character with all those difficulties and all these people who told you basically not to do it, how does that make you feel that a character is so dear to people's hearts and makes people so happy, and kids and adults?
It was something that was completely and totally unexpected for me, because I'd essentially had a career of, well, with regard to the business, like in terms of Hollywood and the business and films that make money at box office and all that. I essentially had a career of about 20 years of failures in their eyes. You know, I mean, Ed Wood was a flop to them, or you know, any of the sort of
He can't even pull out examples of his own work.
stranger films or whatever. When I initially thought about Captain Jack, another thing to keep in mind is
Get this idea too.
I had a 3-year-old daughter. Lily Rose was 3 years old at the time. So for 3 years, I'd watched nothing but animated, but cartoons, you know. So I watched tons of cartoons, a lot of Tex Avery, a lot of.
I gathered all of these ideas.
And at watching these things, you start to think, well, why are the parameters so wide? Why is it that Wile E. Coyote, for example, when he's chasing the Roadrunner, he can have a boulder dropped on his head, and then you cut to the next scene and he's just got a little bandage on. But people buy it, you know. That's the suspension of disbelief. You've got 5-year-olds who love Bugs Bunny. You've got 25-year-olds. You've got 85-year-olds who love these cartoon characters because they can get away with things that we can't. And so that was really my approach, was how do I infiltrate that kind of performance, or instigate that kind of performance where, again, maybe people from 5 to 85 or 95 or whatever can appreciate it, because he represents
How to make him feel good. Like the end goal of Captain Jack Sparrow was to make people feel good if he's an ENFP.
represents a side of us that we aren't able to get away with. He can get away with things that we can't get away with in everyday lives. You know? He can say anything and it makes no sense, and people just go, right. You know? So I suppose, yeah, the ultimate irreverence was what I was looking for, and I found it.
Feeling good. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. It seems like we got a good type on this. He seems to be very much ideas, and he gathers them almost pathologically. He's very much focused on the tribe. He's not doing this so much for him as he is for other people. He mentioned other people and getting the right thing for other people, even though he doesn't really care what they think about it. He's still doing it for them. It's a crazy dynamic how that works. But like, he really is playing this part to bring other people the feeling that he has, right? He is trying to bring to you what he feels about these characters and how these characters make him feel. They make him feel irreverent and free and all these things that it makes him feel, so he conveys that to you. And that's the primary point of it. It's not for him to experience it. It is for you to experience it through him. And he does that by not narrowing down the possibilities, like going off script. The way that he does all of this, it's very much in the fact that he couldn't narrow down what he looks for in the script. Right there is like, that off the top is like, he can't narrow down a possibility to save his life. He sees too many of them. So this seems to be a good type. We got a ENFP, NEFITESI. You know, seems to be good. I hope that I brought a little bit of enlightenment and I helped you to figure out how to understand yourself just a little bit better, because that is the goal of what I am doing here, is to help you understand you a little bit better. I am not a doctor. I do not hold any degrees because, I don't need the try validation like that. I have changed this system. There's a lot of people who are going to disagree with the way that I type these people, and that is okay with me. I feel that I have done something that is going to be significant, and I probably will never be known for until after I'm dead. But I'm okay with that too, because I'm very much a me person. Johnny Depp, this was a great interview. I really enjoyed seeing a little bit inside of his mind. I hope that I helped you to be able to see a little bit inside of your own mind and how some of these different factors play together, and how that you can see them in other people. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. I am praying for you every single day. Till next time, this has been Pittstake. Peace.